What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Hope you had a good day. And reminder for those who are going to the protest is on Saturday. No Kings protest. I might be going to one out here. I haven't been to one, but I might show up. Who knows? If I do, I'll go live. So anyway, we're gonna get into the news of today. So Michael Bolton, a person your boy don't care nothing about. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Don't care nothing about Michael Bolton. John Bolton. I like Michael Bolton. John Bolton. I'm always on the music tip for some damn reason. But anyway, John Bolton, he got indicted today. Not one count or two counts, something like that with Letitia James and James Comey. This man got 18. 18, and Donald Trump was like, it goes like that sometimes. He's a freaking thug. Trump is a thug, y'all. I don't care what anybody says. Take the color of his skin and turn him into a person of color, and you would literally say he was a thug. You would literally say he's a gangster. And he's out here trying to talk about, Venezuelan gangs. He is the exact same, if not worse, than these gangs, because he's pretending that he's not one while doing the same things that gang and mobsters would do. Now, did Michael Cohen, that's a name, a blast from the past, did Michael Cohen did he not say that Donald Trump spoke like and acted like a mobster, a complete, utter thug? If you don't believe me, I brought the receipts.
Donald Trump speaks like a mob boss. He doesn't turn around and say to you, Michael, Alan, meaning Alan Weisselberg, I want you guys to inflate my net worth, let's say from $5.5 billion to $8 billion, $7 billion, whatever the number might be. Go into the back and go figure it out and come back and show me how you're going to do it. That's not how he speaks. What he says is, I'm not worth $5.5 billion. In fact, I'm worth more than 6, probably 7. It could even be 8. Go into the back, go take a look, figure it out, and come back and see me. That's how he speaks. So you don't have to be a code breaker, especially when you are working for him, as long as I did, in order to understand what he wants you to do.
Exactly. Pure thug. And he's out here doing exactly what Nixon only wished he could have done. See, Nixon actually had Republicans who had the nerve to literally say to him, had the balls to say to him, sir, do you have no decency? The shit you're doing is illegal and it's wrong. Now, you can get your little big nose ass up out here, or we can kick your ass out. Which way you gonna take it? And that's the way Republicans actually had some balls back then. They're neutered now. All of them in there are ballless. So they don't say anything like that to him. They continue down this path of history. They're doing the same thing as Nixon was doing, but Donald Trump is even worse. I take it even to Hitler, and they're falling in line instead of actually standing up, because they want power more than they want America. Let's keep it a buck. These Republicans don't give a damn about America. They're not patriotic. They're looking for power. If they were patriotic, they would give a damn about us having no health care, about us having a huge deficit, and all they want to do is keep giving to billionaires. We already have a huge, a disparity in wealth. The top 1% own 90% of the fucking world's and the United States profit. Right? They have most of the money. The top 1% could literally buy all of us homes. You feel me? And feed us for every year with no problem. Top 1%. Now, why in the hell is that? And what are we going to do about it? We can't do shit about it, because what is he doing? He's still giving them money. He's giving them opportunities. Stocks that keep on going up. Why? because this man keeps giving them opportunities. The money that we're putting into this government, our taxes, billions and billions, even trillions of dollars, instead of paying down the deficit or paying down the debt and actually budgeting our deficit so that we don't have anything over, we're actually spending what we actually make or maybe even saving a little bit. They have no plans for that. We've got soybeans in this country, zero being bought from China when 50% of it was being bought by China, right? There are other things that they have that they've also cut back on us. Donald Trump wants to cut back giving them, not essential oils, but like oils that they use, cooking oils and stuff like that. They're getting it from other countries. I mean, it's really putting us in a bind as Americans. Donald Trump is putting us in a bind. And what are we going to do about it? What are our leaders going to do about it? The thing is that I don't think most of them know what to do. We never had anything set up so that we can defend something like this. We didn't know that this was even a possible thing, which we should have known because we saw it coming for most of us, especially the 92% and the 80%. We saw it coming. But for some reason, the rest of the world didn't. And guess what? Now we're in a situation where we're trying to figure it out last second, and they're 40 miles ahead of us. We're on mile 0. They're 40 miles ahead of us. How are we going to catch up when we still got Americans not even seeing it? We still got Americans acting like it ain't happening. And we got Americans justifying stupid shit. Like right now, I seen on social media and on mainstream media, people trying to justify this John Bolton getting indicted with 18 charges, right? He has 18 counts. Now, you can see that Michael Bolton and, like myself, I didn't like the dude. When he was with Trump, this man, when he was working with Trump in the first presidency, I mean, he's a hawk he loves war, right? Constantly keeping us in war or doing some kind of fighting of some sort. Him and Donald Trump were tight. But then he learned the hard way. MAGA, pay attention. John Bolton was his boy. Did everything he wanted him to do. Then all of a sudden, John Bolton figured out, okay, well, we're going to continue doing stuff. And Donald Trump wanted to stop doing the war stuff. He's trying to get going toward this peace shit, but he was causing all these problems. And then that's when Michael Bolton got kind of like on the out. Not Michael Bolton. I keep on saying that. John Bolton keep going on the outs. After that, Donald Trump got rid of him. Then said he was basically a nobody. Wasn't worth his weight in anything. And then John Bolton started telling the truth about Donald Trump. Then he became his enemy. MAGA cannot leave because they're too wimpy to do so. They're scared to leave him. Because once they do, what will he do to them? Just like a mob boss. If you don't think Donald Trump is more like Jeffrey Epstein, and more or less, Jeffrey Epstein was more like Donald Trump. We keep acting like Epstein was the one who was leading this. Donald Trump was just as bad. These people are scared to leave Donald Trump's side. Why? Because all the shit that they've done around him, he's probably got recorded. That's what him and Epstein did. Record everything you did. How many times did these people go and stay at his hotels? Whenever he had people come in that first presidency, he had them all stay at his hotel. The one he bought in Washington, D.C. or whatever. They came to Mar-a-Lago. You don't think cameras are in Mar-a-Lago in every bedroom, just like Jeffrey Epstein had in every one of his rooms when they stayed at his palatial estates in his island? Him and Donald Trump were one and the same. These people can't break from Trump because they can't. They got dirt. He's got dirt on every last one of them. That's why you see them acting like they do. There is dirt on every last one of them. You got to think about it. Some of them had somewhat morals, but we just didn't agree with their particular thought process, like the bills and shit they wanted to pass. But you could agree to disagree. Now they're sycophants. It's like they will not go against Trump. Who does that? Who does it? Only people who do that is people who got something on them. You can't make me say nothing I don't want to say unless you got my child hostage, and I'll say some shit. That's why you see Marco Rubio looks sick every time he's around Donald Trump and doing the shit, and he sees that, and they sit there and they got that blank stare when Donald Trump's up there saying the dumbest shit on earth. He's saying all kind of shit. Yeah, you know, what do you say when he's on this trail talking about, you know, the snake bit the lady and said, "What do you expect? I was a snake." Everybody sitting behind him like he has something on them. It plays the same way when he wrote that letter, that little birthday thing in the birthday booklet, saying that we're enigmas, we're more alike than different. You and I have a lot in common. And they kind of like joke. He's kind of joking with him back and forth with the text, playing Epstein and playing himself. Donald Trump is more like, I would say Epstein is more like Donald Trump. Because you got to think about it. He got Epstein. He mastered Epstein. He's the one that ratted him out. Epstein was about to rat him out for money laundering, and he got to Epstein first. If Epstein was the king at it, he would have got to Donald Trump first. Donald Trump got to him first. So we keep on acting like Epstein was the one that was the bad one. I don't believe it anymore. Because he would have got, or Donald Trump would have got by the master. Instead, Donald Trump got the master. Right? And you think that he was the master, but Donald Trump was, and still is. There's no reason these people who are in leadership positions would capitulate to a man that they couldn't stand. They want his position. They want to be the president. And they can't be. And with Donald Trump around, and with those fools doing what they did, I know he's got stuff on Rubio. He's got to have something on him. Rubio might be one of the people that's all on these fucking apps and shit when they crash every time you go to a different state. He look a little sweet. But he don't want to say anything because they're all hateful toward people of color. And all hateful toward people who are trans and bi and all that. Mm-hmm. And that's why they don't want, again, you look at that party, all the black people that fought for Donald Trump, where the hell they at? All those black people. Scott, I ain't seen him in a minute. I don't even know if the dude's still breathing. What happened to his white wife? The one that was supposed to prove that he wasn't gay. He brought her out and showed her around like she was a freaking iPhone. Look what I got. Look what I got. I got a white lady. That's who I got. I don't date dudes. I got a white lady. Dude, if you was a Democrat, we wouldn't give a shit if you dated a dude. Who gives a fuck? But you out here lying your entire life away just so you can be in a party. For what reason? The party don't like you. I don't understand why you hang with people that don't like you. The only thing I can think of for Tim Scott and Byron Donalds is that inside the Democrat Party, they're nobodies. They have no talent, no skills. They would never rise to the top. They aren't the cream of the crop. Inside the Republican Party is the only opportunity they have. Go against your own and you can rise. Same with Marco Rubio. Bring him to the Democrat Party. There ain't nobody who would fuck with him. Now, even if he had liberal ideals, it's just that he's weird. Something's up with him. You can tell there's something wrong with Rubio. But if he sticks with this, I can't stand people of color, even though I am one, he rises. Tell me one black person in the Republican Party that's really black. What do I mean by really black? Literally thinks about black issues. Literally thinks about moving the black people into a better place in life. Literally thinks about, hey, how can I help the black community? All they got for the black community is condemnation. Well, you can be where I'm at if you did whatever. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see them go on that tour for Donald Trump. They was hitting up every little barbershop. And when the black men had any kind of adverse comments to say, like, I don't understand how, you guys don't care about the black community, but you're here in the barbershop and blah, 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 blah. You would see, I forgot the dude, I think his name is Wes Moore or something like that. He acted like he was too good for them, sipping on his little brandy or whatever it is and the cigar, and was sitting back and like acting like y'all N-words don't know what's going on, man. And I'm sitting here like, you're talking to people that you want to vote for you, and you're talking down to them. And like they're nobodies, but you're somebody, because white people who don't like black people allow you next to them. It must be lonely as fuck when you go into these parties and you have to be the token Negro. Don't speak until we ask. Hey, Negro, what you got? What do you think? I think whatever you say, boss. Okay. Didn't that what Tim Scott did? I think it was 3 million. I said, I think 3 million, something like that. I think it was 3.2 million myself. Then the dude, Jerome Bettis, not Jerome Bettis, that's the football player, but Jerome, the head of the chairman, literally said to him, that's an extra building. They both look stupid. But the one who looked more dumb was Tim Scott, because he came out the crack of his ass with that statement knowing damn well he ain't seen shit. He just supported a white racist man because a white racist man asked him to vouch for him. He was an attaché case. He was literally like a briefcase. He was brought a briefcase that can speak. Now speak, Negro. And then he said, I think it's 3.2 million myself. I validate that. How sad is it that your kids got to look at you being walked around like they used to walk those little monkeys around and shit and play a little and then put you back in their pocket and walk away. You speak when spoken to, and then after that, you ain't got no place. Tim Scott got no place in the government. What was he doing? Has his name been brought up? Byron Donalds, where is he at? Except for going on Bill Maher making a dumbass of himself every once in a while. You're not needed until they need Negroes that are stupid enough to listen to your dumbasses to fuck up the country and then disappear. Black people who decided to vote Donald Trump's way want to speak to you for a hot second. How you feeling now? The dudes that went to these barbershops where they can find Negroes at, clumped together, dumb enough to listen to some other Negroes to tell you, hey, this is what you should think because, I don't want to be on that plantation with the Democrats. It's so funny how you want an island of plantation over there where our black people actually get to lead and speak. And your black person gets to go around and as a token, put in somebody's fucking pocket. No more than a Chuck E. Cheese fucking token. Every time they want you to do something, they put a quarter in that bitch and he speaks. Then his time runs out and he sits his black ass down. That's the Republican Party. Tell me who's leading. Tell me where the black person is in the Republican Party that has some power. The person they even put in as the vice president of the United States. Remember, Tim Scott's out there. I love you. I love me some Trump. Then he put you back in his pocket and walked away. You ain't got one job, not one job, Joe. Tim Scott has no extra credit, nothing. He is sitting in a corner waiting for them to wind his little ass up. Byron Donalds, the same way. How, as a black man in this country, as much as we have fought and died to get where we are you okay with sitting in a white man's pocket that can't stand your black ass just to be thrown out, to be activated with hate? Go out there and speak that black hate for me. White, go and do it. Be that white dude inside a black dude. Go out there and call him the N-word. Then you go do your little monkey dance, and then you bring your little ass back and get back into his pocket and sit in the corner and wait till you're called upon again. Tell me, when do you lead? They don't give you anything to lead. You're not the head of any fucking committees. You're not getting paid any extra money. Just brought out to say stupid shit and then put back in somebody else's pocket. It's crazy how J.D. Vance was a senator for a hot fucking second. This dude got in to be a senator by a billionaire who paid his way. A gay billionaire, by the way. I thought y'all didn't like gay people. But they got enough money, it makes you look past the gay. It's so crazy how a gay billionaire got J.D. Vance, the pillow humper, right, to be the vice president of the United States. And you faked like you weren't gay, got with a white woman, and where you at? In a corner somewhere. And you're gay. You just don't have enough money and zero power. It must suck being Tim Scott. I'd rather have no power and get my balls back than to have some sense of power against what? Other black people? What's that doing for you? When the dude who came in, J.D. Vance ain't done shit. 2 years, this man did absolutely nothing. Didn't write a bill, didn't pass nothing, didn't have anything. He was nobody. And prior to getting paid to lose weight, to look like somebody and trounce around with an Indian wife, other than that, remember he was super fat, lost all this weight. They groomed this dude to look like somebody that can be, and the only reason he's there is so these billionaires get into the door with Donald Trump. None of y'all who was kissing his ass, the black people. You guys had zero opportunity to be the vice president. And it was so sad to see you on stages trying your damnness to kiss this man's ass. And now you sit. Candace Owens is out of the group now. All you so-called whatever you were have nothing to stand on. Nothing. And it's sad because that party shouldn't be so racist and should be listening to black and brown and Latin and everybody else's voices. We can have a better country. Even though you may have different ideals on how to do things, we can agree to disagree and work on shit. But no, you worked on a party that you knew was trying to become dictators. You knew in that group that you reside in is a bunch of racists. And you knew that you were talentless fucks that wanted to move ahead because you don't have any skill other than hating on your own race. That was a resume. How can I get a black person that hates on his own race and talks like a white racist so that we can make it look like that we're doing something for you? What did they do for you? You didn't get any raise. You didn't get any promotion. You're not the leader of anything. You're not the head of anything. You're not a part of any kind of group that they're helping out. You're not a part of any kind of caucus that's helping out people who look like you. You're absolutely nobody in that party. And they're only going to pull you out again when it becomes a black issue that they can't handle and they can't call us the N-word. They're going to bring your ass out to act like, well, black people need to do this and they need to do that, Massel. Where's the lie? Tell me what you did. Tim Scott joined on with Van and what's his name? What's her name? Kim Kardashian to do some jail thing. Like I said, 4%, less than 4% of black people ever fucking go to jail. Kiss my ass talking about doing something about the jail shit. Less than 4% of us. What'd you do for the 96%? Not a damn thing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm hell of offended that every time they want to do something for black people, especially the Republican Party and Democrats too, don't get me wrong. You guys are always talking about jail and colleges. How the hell are we going to get jobs? How about these communities are all boarded up and no industries? How about bringing industries to black communities? How about that shit? So you can create opportunities, and therefore you create opportunities and jobs and industries near the black communities. You can lift those bitches instead of sitting here talking about, well, I'll help you get out of jail. I don't need bail, bitch. We need opportunities. That's what's causing the jails and having to get bail. You don't have any opportunities. Poverty causes crime. But there's never in the Republican Party anything about lifting economically black people, people of color, women. Never. You guys are always talking about getting tax cuts. Where's the bill about helping healthcare? Said you're going to do it. You got concepts after a fucking decade. 50 years or so, Obama comes around and we get healthcare. Took 50 years of promises from white presidents. It took the black one to actually pass it. And as soon as he passed it, it took white people, racist white people, trying their damnness to destroy it because a black man created it. You've been trying 50 years. White leaders, presidents, now it's here. Been here for a while. It's working. And you want to destroy it because a black man did it. Why else would you want to destroy healthcare that you've been promising your constituents for over 50 years? You know they still want it. That's why you say, we'll have a better plan. You've been wanting it for 50 years. You know what's so trip? In 50 years, you guys can create Project 2025. 900 something fucking pages of a document talking about destroying democracy. Then create one that's 10,000 times bigger than that for everybody to know how to do their jobs without really knowing how to do their job. That's why you brought people in that don't know how to do the job so that you can give them a pamphlet on how to do their job day to day. You don't want experienced people because they know how to do the job. You want to give them a booklet on how to do it because Russ Vought has been doing it the entire time. He's back there a marionette, pulling all the fucking strings. That's why they don't want real people in there with merit. They want these idiots in there that they can control. The Pam Bondis, Dan Bonginos, all of them can be controlled. That's why we are where we are. That's why this country is going to hell in a handbasket, because those people are leading it. And because we have enough of these people in this country who are racist, xenophobic. I mean, if you just look at the fact that how they got Americans to be so up in arms about trans people taking a shit in the same room with another person in a closed door. And I want you to understand something. I don't know what part of the country you're from in this United States. I don't know what part you're in, but I'm in California. There's been unisex bathrooms since I've been in this bitch. I moved here in 93. Unisex bathrooms every fucking where. There's been men and women using the restroom in the same room for fucking ever. There are high, expensive in LA. I don't know anywhere else. In LA, there are expensive like lofts and apartment buildings that have just been built that are 10,000, 50,000, 8,000 a month. And in the hallways, the bathrooms are unisex. You walk in, there's a door that locks on each stall, whether you got to do one or number two. You lock it. It goes all the way down to the door, to the floor. You open it up, close it down, sealed. Nobody can look under. Complete, walled off, room of your own. Simple way to solve that shit. But no. People are so easy to fall for hate than they are to accept love. You couldn't love somebody different than you. So you got somebody to fuck up our country because of your hate for one group of people. To talk about, oh, they're in sports and I don't want them in sports. How stupid can you be? As the millions of people who play sports in this country, there are literally in the country less than 10 trans people. And you talking about, oh my God, it's just everywhere. Less than 10. I believe the last number I heard was 8. And you're worried about 8 people when we have 320 something million in the fucking country. This is how these leaders will sucker you into believing some of the dumbest shit on the planet. And then all of a sudden, our country is in shambles. In shambles, I say, just because you listen to one idiot that can't even read past the 4th grade level lying to you about eating dogs, they're doing this, eating your cats, and all this, they're in your bathroom, and they're getting your jobs, and all this crazy nonsense. And now everybody, even those hateful racist people, are all feeling the wrath of Sir Orange Idiot. And the ones who decided, okay, I'm going to vote with him and stuff like that. Well, he's doing something I don't like. I'm like, no shit, we told you. I can't admit it, though, because then I look stupid. No, you looked stupid from the very beginning. So you might as well just come out the closet. You were a dumbass before, you're a dumbass now. Might as well come out. We can see you. You're no longer in the dumbass closet. We can see you, all of you. Just come out and accept it. Maybe when you see sunlight, you might be able to come out and say, you know what? Let me educate myself and get rid of this stigma of dumbassery. But you're just relishing in it like a pig in slop. Don't want to admit your faults, so you can't get over them. So your world gets worse and worse and worse. You wonder why. You felt like you was in a bad place and you want to get to a better place. It's because you made poor decisions in your life. It had nothing to do with your Latin neighbor, your black neighbor, your gay neighbor, your trans neighbor. It had everything to do with your fucked up decisions in life. This is one of them. Trump was another fucked up decision you made that had your farm in fucking peril, that has your business in peril, that has your life in peril because you make fucked up decisions. Ask yourself a question. In this country, there is such thing as white privilege, racist white people. How in the hell are you still in the back of the fucking bus and you got whiteness? Why would I hire a Latin person when the white superior person's sitting right next to him? That's because they've been lying to you your whole fucking life. Ain't nothing superior about you. And because you have that idea that you're superior, the black person, the Latin person, the Asian person, they're working 10 times harder than you. And when they pass you, you're wondering why. It's because you're relying on privilege instead of hard work. See, our parents raised us and said we had to work 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times harder than the average white person just to be seen. You were taught that you were seen just as soon as you came out the womb. So when people of color pass you, it ain't because they got some kind of DEI. It's because you sat on your ass and expected to get better positions in life just because you were white. That's why they go out of the country to get other educated white people to come to this country, like Elon Musk. Yeah, South Africa. They brought him here and gave him all this money. This is our tax dollars that made that dude a billionaire. He didn't invent shit. Oh, don't get mistaken. Elon Musk, all he did was get tax dollars from the government and started buying up shit. He jumped in on people who were doing, apps and shit like that with finances and payments and stuff like that. Got $1 billion when he sold it. And ever since then, getting government contracts of tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions. And that's our tax dollars that made that little bigot rich. And you bitch in the moment. Then you glorify him with those ugly ass trucks. Act like it's somebody, oh, so he's just so great. Just because he's a white guy and not realizing you don't like immigrants, and he is one of them. You're putting your money behind one of them. And Donald Trump, that's the only thing he'll marry is immigrants. But you hate immigrants. At the same time, you love you some Melania, and she still haven't learned how to speak the language. You love you some Melania, and then be hating on people who are from other countries. It's just fucking oxymoron. It's ridiculous. It's like my kids used to say when they were growing up, it's like opposite day. It is opposite day every day in this country. They hate immigrants, but worship the ground that this immigrant Melania walks on. She's the prettiest vice president, the wife of the president, or whatever it is, first lady, whatever. She is not. The woman is not beautiful. I don't know where y'all get this shit from. I know beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but she got more plastic done than anybody just look at her back in the day. And then look at her now. Hell, I like Jackie O better. Even then, she still was just, she was mid. Everybody loves her, whatever. Everybody's got their own taste. But you got this entire thing, for me, and this is going to MAGA, you got it all effed up. Your hatred for any group of people should be going toward class and not race. You are where you are because rich white people put you where you are. You make the amount of money you make because rich white people pay you what they decide to pay you. And don't make no mistake about it. If me and you are in the same position, then the white person owning the business, you're going to be making more money than me. But it still ain't enough for you to live off of. That's because of the billionaire, not because of the black person who got hired for less than you. It kills me how people say, they got my job. You understand? If a black person has a job at the exact same, even a woman has a job at the exact same position. Let's say like both of us are computer programmers. I'm a black one, there's a white woman, and there's a white man, all in the same position. That white male would make anywhere from 20 to 50% more than me doing the exact same fucking job. The white woman's still more than me. It can range. Depends. Sometimes they can make less, but most of the time they make more. If I have a black-owned company, white woman company, white male company, if my numbers are doing way better than the white male or the white woman, they still going to invest less than me and going to invest in him way more. Just so they can say, I know you can do it. This one black guy's an anomaly. We're not going to give him nothing. Just let him just kind of choke on 2 million. I'll give you 30 million. And his business sinks in 30 days, still giving 40 million the next week. Because they want him to succeed. These are the odds that black people have to roll with. And then when you get white people, rich or not, or racist or not, saying, well, you guys got opportunities, we still are behind, way behind. And to bitch and moan about somebody getting ahead by somebody actually seeing them. Michael Jordan, one of the best men to ever do it. If it wasn't for black men way back in the 50s, I believe, 40s and 50s, coming out and showing that they could play basketball, you would have never seen a Michael Jordan. Because white people didn't think that black people were able to play the sport. We weren't smart enough. Without breaking down that barrier, you would never see a Moses Malone. You would never seen a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You would have never seen Oscar Robertson. You would have never seen Scottie Pippen. You would have never seen Kobe Bryant. These aren't DEI. They just opened up the door and said, black people can do it. Let's seek out some black people. And if Donald Trump and all these racists had their way, they would call that DEI, and you would be having some whack-ass white players still playing around in some Converse and tight-ass shorts. Yeah, don't make no mistake. It was black people that brought the fashion to basketball. Otherwise, again, long-ass socks, flat-ass shoes. It drives me nuts that we can't just sit here and just say, you know what? Everybody brings something to the table. Let's work with it. But no, we got racists all the time destroying this country. And too many of us just sit around and just look at it and like, that's not bad. That's not good, rather. But, you know, I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to say anything about it. So it continues to persist. So much so, instead of fighting it, people act like it ain't there. And to fit in, you got black people and people of color who knows racism is a real strong thing in this country. If white people could be in black families, I had a reality show many years ago. I said I was going to pitch that white people get to live with a black family, a poor white family, a poor black family rather, and see how they live instead of the stereotypes. you would see the shit they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Is my kid going to come home safe? Well, what is he doing? Is he breaking the law or something? No, he's black. What the fuck you mean he's just black? You want to ride along? Lay your ass down in the black car with all black people. Don't put your head up. Just put your head down. And let them just drive around for a while. You'll see. We don't make this shit up. Who wants to make up trauma? What the fuck we get out of trauma? A trophy? People talk about, oh, pull the black card. Do you know how much a motherfucking black person would love to have the black card stripped away from them? This shit ain't no card. This is life. It ain't like I pull this shit out of my pocket. I wake up with it every day on my fucking face. I don't pull no card. I just tell you stories about what this beautiful skin does in the world of racist white people. And Latin people want to be white. And black people kissing white people's ass so they can get treated better, still being called the N-word. It's insane that this country continues to say it's not racist and expect us to walk around like the shit ain't happening to us. And then when we tell you it's happening to us, you want to sit there and tell us it's not happening. Who the fuck are you to tell us what we going through? That's like me telling a trans person life is just the same as everybody else's. You just trans, that's who you, no big deal. It's a fucking big deal. I grew up where gay was like something you hid. Or somebody would beat your ass. It's a big deal that they can be out right now and have a wonderful life. That ain't what it used to be. Big deal. We can't get rid of these ills in our country until we admit they exist. It's not to make anybody feel bad. It's for those of the people who are going through it to finally feel good. We all go through the therapy of racism exists, sexism exists. Now how we fix it? Can't get to a solution until you admit there's a problem. And this country wants to come to a solution because they're too scared to face the problem. That's not how the solutions come. That's how you make people forget, try to tell them to forget what you're seeing. That's not how you solve problems at all. We admit problems. That's the only way you get through them, over them, and past them. But when one group of people tells you that you don't see what you see or hear what you see, or hear what you hear, and then all of a sudden walking a life like it ain't happening because it's not happening to them, that's the type of privilege. And then other sectors get to witness that. In generations and different things. You see, the gay people, when they came out, it was a scary thing. Then they find, like look at Ellen DeGeneres. I remember the show she came out saying that she was gay. The shit she had to go through. Proud of her doing it, but the crap she had to go through. Her show was canceled soon after. That wasn't too long ago. It was in the 90s. Late 90s, maybe early 2000s. Let's not say it was in the 90s, like 90, 98, 99, 97, 98, 99, somewhere around there. It was before 2001, I know that for a fact. These big moments where we had to shift. And then we sit here and act like if we don't mention it, it's not there. We're in this big thing where we're hating on things that are different, like trans. And all of this is the same shit over again. Something that's different that you don't want to accept, you hate on. I ask you, what does a gay person, trans person, people who are racist, what does a person of color, what do they do to you? They just living their life. Ain't shit they're doing to you. It's you doing something to the people who are different. You're the bully. They're not going around saying that fuck straight people. They ain't going around and beating up people who are kissing the opposite sex. They're not doing any of that. They're just having life. Loving, laughing, holding hands, showing love. And you guys have nothing but hate in your heart. Nothing but hate. And try to gaslight everybody else like, you should hate too, right? Why? Why should I hate? Because I hate. Well, no, that's a problem with you. But we want to be so cool with people who got money. So if a rich person doesn't like it, you get close to a rich person, you think you're going to get rich. So you say some of the same shit, even if you don't believe it. Because you value money and power over people. It's so crazy because you can't get money or power without people. It's an oxymoron. But hey, people are going to do what they're going to do. My thing is, admit the fault and we can get past it. We can win it. We can win this. But we can't if we keep on ignoring the facts. Racism exists. Privilege exists. Xenophobia exists. All these other isms exist. Now ask yourself why. And when you deal with that personally, why they exist, and start working on yourself, then you'll end up realizing this is some stupid shit because I really don't have a reason why it's a problem. Because there's things in your life that you don't like, but you don't necessarily hate it. You don't like if you got a brand new car and you love your car, you hate it when you see the bill come. You're like, man, it's gonna cost me this much money, but you still love the fact you got a car. You hate it. The bill taking your money. You hate paying taxes, but you still love democracy. At least most of the people do. So what if you don't like what people do in their own homes? Who cares? Move on. You don't have to deal with it. And even if you do, keep your ass moving. Just like I tell people, if you don't like what I got to say on any piece of content, there is such a thing as scrolling the fuck away. I ain't gonna miss you, and you ain't adding nothing to my life. But you don't have to step in and say your 2 cents. Keep your ass moving. Nobody gives a damn about what you got to say unless you're adding something constructive to the conversation. Otherwise, what's the purpose of listening to somebody who wants to destroy somebody instead of lift them up? If you got some destruction, look in the mirror. Because if you got that kind of pain in your life, it's what's in the mirror that's fucking with you, not what's really in your life, like you walking by and seeing somebody else. Maybe you got a problem of worrying about yourself being trans, worrying about yourself being gay. You may be attracted to them and don't understand it because your pastor don't told you something different, or your parents don't told you something different, or your religion or your political party don't told you something different. But it shouldn't bother you if it ain't got nothing to do with you. Ain't got shit to do with you. There are people out there paragliding right now. I ain't got shit to do with that. The fuck it's got to do with me? Am I worried about it? Am I angry about it? No, I'm not, because it's not a part of my life. That's simple. If you're not gay, bi, trans, whatever, move on. Move with your life. You don't have to go to one of the clubs. You don't have to do nothing. Keep it moving. Why you got to hate on it? If you got energy for it, something's wrong with you. Not with them. They're happy, having a good old time. It's you that's bringing shit to the party when everybody else is bringing sugar. Think about that shit for a minute. Your hate is not even needed. You don't have to add your little ingredient to the fucking pie. Keep your little shitty ass attitude with somebody else who gives a fuck. Hang around people, just hate on each other, but leave everybody else the fuck alone. Nobody needs to step into your little fucked up world or your thoughts. Leave that shit to yourself, or hang out with people like that. There's more than enough. It's 300-something million. You don't have to step your little dumb ass in somebody else's conversation. Just keep it moving. You don't get to say what people get to do. That's the problem. Men talking about what women could do with their own bodies. I'm like, why don't you shut the fuck up? What do you got to do with somebody else's uterus? Why are you even speaking? Do you have one? I tell women all the time, if you get in power, start making fucking like laws about men's unit. See how they like it. How would you like it If women got power and say, you know what, if you get like accused of rape 3 times, we get to just make you a eunuch, just chop it right off. You would go fucking ape shit. But wait a minute, your body, my decision. Would you like it? No, you wouldn't. So shut the fuck up. It's not your choice. If it would have been your choice, God would have made it possible for you to have babies. You don't. You're a donor. I always wanted to be in something that don't bother you. I mean, again, I understand. You want your kid and your child just as much as they wanted. You participate just as much as they did. But it's their body, not yours. And if you are a good person, more than likely, she's going to want to keep the baby if you're going to be around. All I know is people who wanted to, like in this situation, women who want to get abortions, more than likely because of the fact that they're not ready to raise a child. And the person who got them pregnant, they don't want to be around. They don't want them to be around every day. They don't want to look at their baby and look at you. Ugh, don't want it. Tough. But it is what it is. And then some is medical, you know what I'm saying? They get to make their decisions about their body, not you. These are some of the things that just kind of bug me that I want to get off my chest. Really does. Her body, her choice, right, Dennis? I'm like, come on. And the thing is that everyone that I know who has even thought about getting like abortions and things of that nature, or to go, you know, and get like a man going to get himself fixed because he don't want to have any more children. It's their decision. Your wife don't make a decision whether you want to go get snipped. You start saying, you know what, I'm a certain age and I don't want no babies right now because, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to be raising no little children at my age. I want to enjoy the rest of my life and, you know, get into my area where, you know, I can go anywhere I want to, go traveling because I don't save enough money to work my ass off. You don't want to have any kids, even though your little boys can still swim. You make that decision. It ain't your wife be like, boy, you better go get your thing fixed. You make the decision. So your body, your choice. Leave them the fuck alone. That's the way I say about it. Y'all do what y'all got to do, but that's the way I look at it. Now, let's get back to the top. I know I go off, but I got to get shit off my chest. But getting back to the political shit of today, Donald Trump has a hit list. You know who else who had a hit list? But it was private. It was Nixon. See, the Republicans, like I said, had balls back then. And they said, you know, the famous line, sir, do you have no decency? There are none now that say that. And it's my belief because Donald Trump has something on them. It's strange how they all fall in line. And I've never known in life where anybody falls in line, where everybody falls in line to something, unless there's a bigger plan, which we know that Project 2025 is. But these people, there's just something weird about it. And we all know that. But his hit list, Donald Trump's hit list, is out in the open. Catching Donald Trump say some of the things that he said. We're going to listen to it now. I still got one person's message up there. Sorry. We're going to listen to it now. If it pops up. Ah, it's frozen.
Jack Smith, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed his interviewer was, I think that was Weissman. And I hope they're going to look into Weissman, too. Weissman's a bad guy. And he had somebody in Lisa, who was his puppet, worked in the office really as the top person. And I think that she should be looked at very strongly. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people.
Okay. Now, whom he's talking about is Adam Schiff, right? And all the people that he mentioned, like the Adam Weiss, Jack Smith. These are all his hit lists. And there was an interview with Jack Smith and with Andrew Weiss. What does Andrew Weiss got to do with anything? He's just a wise guy that is on different shows, mostly MSNBC, I believe, in which he's educating people about the way the government and laws work, and whenever a case is going down, he's kind of giving you the insight to it because he's very learned, a lifelong prosecutor, lawyer, and so forth for the FBI, working for the FBI as well, I guess. So very wise. What has he got to say anything? Well, he's against Trump and he's against somebody breaking rules and laws. But he gives no reason for these people other than he's a bad guy. You're a bad guy, an actual felon. But there's no law against being a bad guy. And there's nothing, shifty shift. He just get people's names and no reason to go after them. There is literally no crime. Now, here's the thing. The way the law works, the way it was supposed to work, is that you can't have a hit list of people. You don't go finding crimes. People report crimes, and you literally like do investigations. You don't go pick people and say, him, her, my opponents, anybody who doesn't like me. That stuff right there normally would not last in court. It would be thrown out of court because you're not allowed to just hunt people and make a list and have and weaponize the DOJ and others, CIA, FBI, to go after people that just don't like you. One thing I want these people to recognize, if America does not become a dictatorship, like if Donald Trump fails, Marco Rubio, you would probably see a jail cell. Pam Bondi, you would probably see a jail cell. You do understand the last time Donald Trump left office, he didn't give a pardon to the people who worked with him. So you more than likely are going to jail, but you don't see that far ahead because you think he's going to win this whole thing. He's almost 80. What if he don't make it through this whole thing just by natural causes? You're going to jail, but you don't see that because you're out here trying to break laws for this man. That new prosecutor that Donald Trump hired to go after Letitia James and James Comey and John Bolton. You're going to jail, Miss whatever you were, Miss USA pageant / lawyer, insurance lawyer. You're going to jail. All of you will see the inside of a jail cell for the shit that you're doing. These are crimes that you're committing. And it's not going to take all these prosecutors. They know you're breaking laws. That's why they're leaving. They're running away from you because they know what? If I put my name on this shit, and when the next president come in, if we don't turn to a dictatorship, everybody's name on these shits will go to jail for the crimes that you're committing. They're smart to know putting my name on that shit is going to put liability on me to see an inside of a jail cell. And they love the law more than they love breaking it. But you guys are sycophants. You don't really know law like that. You just know insurance law. Even Donald Trump's lawyers that he put into office here, Pam Bondi, they lost with Donald Trump. Donald Trump got the felony. They didn't win. They really had no case. They just came in screaming, saying crazy shit, making up stuff that judges was like, oh, what does that got to do with the case? I mean, where's Rudy Giuliani? Haven't you learned what happened to Rudy Giuliani? All these lawyers, sycophants, look at Rudy. This dude is up selling like gummy worms or some shit for vitamins for people over 80. Owing $100-something million, lost everything, fucking with Trump. And you guys are doing the same shit. You ain't even learning. You're hoping Russ Vought turns this into a dictatorship so that you do not go to jail. But if he fails, whew, if he fails, it's going to be a rough time looking through bars for the rest of your life. And that's what these Democrats should be telling them. You do understand that if this dictator shit don't work out, you're going to see the inside of a jail cell. Because what you're doing, highly illegal. You may not know it. That's why you shouldn't be in the position that you're in. But all you got to do is look it up. Look up the law books and you'll be able to see what you're doing is breaking laws. And you think that you're all powerful now. But we don't have kings here. Another plug. No Kings rally coming up. No Kings protest coming up Saturday the 18th, October the 18th. Find out what it is in your city. RSVP, go. I don't have anything to do with the organization. I just believe in no fucking kings. I believe in democracy. Fuck dictatorship. All right? There's a lot that's going to go to jail. And I promise you, if you go to court, I'm going to go to that city while you in jail, not in jail, while you in the courtroom, and I'm going to try and get a seat. Just sit back there and smile. Sit back there and smile. I don't care whether you get charged or not. Go to jail or not, guilty or not. I want to be at least one of them. I don't know which one I'm going to pick. But one of them, I'm taking a vacation just to go watch your ass if I can get in the room. Just to watch your ass go through hell. Because each one of you guys need to be in jail, not for a few days. I say for the rest of your life for the shit you're doing. You're fucking with democracy. Not only did you have January 6th, and that's when you try to overthrow democracy. Now you're in the government with Russell Vogt trying to do it again. This is the second overturn of democracy. They're trying to do it again inside the White House. That should hold a death penalty for me. That should definitely hold, that's treason. That should hold a death penalty for me. I wouldn't even put you in jail. I would not. I would seek the death penalty if it was me. I don't know if they can do it or not, but I would. Because we don't need none of you. We need to make an example out of people like you who decide to try and take our country through hell just because you can't help the fact that your racism put you in positions that you should have never gotten into. None of these people should be in the position they're in, but racism got you there. Division got you there. And once America starts to unite, we will kick your ass out. That's straight facts. United, we stand. Hey, Lynn, I see you. All right. Well, these people, these two right here, John Smith, Andrew Weissman, Jack Smith, rather, Andrew Weissman, they didn't do anything. He said he didn't like Jack Smith, yo. I'm sitting there like, I had to think about it for a second. Y'all know. Jack Smith didn't have shit to do with this. Merrick Garland appointed him. He appointed this dude to run this case. And all he did was follow the facts. So you trying to tell me that just because I got hired to do a job, and this dude was so highly professional, it threw me off a little bit because I didn't know that any kind of prosecutor could really be that professional, to be quite honest. Because I'd seen so many of them actually speak up and say something in the media or whatever. This fool said one thing in the media, and that's only because he came out and had to say something in a press conference, and after that, disappeared, had nothing else to say. I was like, damn, this dude keeping it quiet. They come to his face, we got anything to say there? Got anything, Jack Smith? And he was just like, stone face, kept it moving. Didn't even look at the camera. Didn't act like the person was there. I was like, damn, that's some cold shit. He just like, he focused. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And Donald Trump says he's a bad guy. I'm like, how would you know? He never said anything. He just did his job. And what's so sucky about it is, once he became president, he became president, he dropped the case. I was so pissed. I was like, he got dropped. I guess he had to drop it, but I'm like, I was pissed that they didn't fulfill their cases before it was over. It took too damn long. That's what got me. But how you gonna be mad at a man that didn't even take your trial to court? Take your case to court. It didn't even go to trial. You won. And all he did was put the shit together meticulously. Has evidence to prove that you're guilty, but never got a chance to go through court and get a guilty verdict. And you want him to go to jail for what? What law did he break? All he got is he's a bad guy. Same thing with Adam Weiss. He's a bad guy. For what? What'd he do? He didn't bring nothing up. So now it is that they weaponize the DOJ, the FBI, CIA to go after people just because Donald Trump says they're a bad guy. Any laws broken? Don't know. Now, John Bolton, I would not doubt that he did what they're saying he's doing, but I would never give Donald Trump and these minions any kind of credit for doing what he's doing. What they said, for doing what he said he did. I won't give any credit. I can't trust him. And that's the hard part with me, is because I don't like John Bolton. But I refuse to give any credibility to these departments with these dipshits as leads. Because each one of them is going after these people, not because they had evidence, because they're drumming up evidence. They're trying to make something that it's not. And the sad part about it is, had it been really legitimate, I could see some of these things, especially with John Bolton, being possibly true. But I can't see any of it being true. Why would you? They've already destroyed the credibility of these departments. And even when before, the shit was on thin ice with most Americans, because even with, before they came, we thought, we knew, especially black people, that some of this stuff was been crooked for decades. Tens of decades, to be honest. But with Donald Trump in, it's worse. Way worse. How can you trust them? These departments, how can you trust them? Cockeyed Kash Patel. This dude lied under oath. Pam Bondi lied under oath. And here they're trying to charge James Comey for lying under oath. And they really don't have any lie under oath at all. They got Tom, the guy who took $50,000 in a paper bag or something like that. He's never denied it. Right? Never said he didn't take the money. Vice President says, I'm pretty sure he made $50,000, more than $50,000 before in his life getting, a job. That doesn't say anything. Did he take this $50,000? I don't know what you're talking about. How don't you know what we're talking about when you just said, he's gotten that kind of money before? At least you would expect it. You don't know what it's about. I got to say that's bullshit, because you have to know what it's about. That's your job. You're supposed to know what's going on in the government. If Donald Trump died from one of his strokes, you got to be able to fit right in. And if you're going to tell me that you don't know the topics of the day in the government like the back of your hand, then you're not staying ready. You're going to have to get ready. And if you got to get ready, you ain't going to be ready. You're supposed to stay ready. So when they put you in the game, you ready to go. Hit the ground running. They ain't got to rev you up. They just got to sit you down and you take off running. You are out of shape on this one. You don't know what's going on in the government. And if you do, you gaslighting so strong that who would trust you? Your MAGA minions. That's it. It's just crazy. Oh, Mike, is he looking at me? Is he looking at you? That's funny. That's funny. I would say what's up to y'all. What's going on? Give y'all some love here. Take it back to the original and you guys. There we go. But yeah, it's crazy how he had this whole hit list. And all we got to say is, and I've been seeing different news clips where people are trying to justify, well, he had 18 counts with Michael, going with the music again, with John Bolton, right? And he keeps on saying that. And 18 counts, I'm like, of what though? I mean, we can go look it up. I'm like, of what? They haven't really announced it on the stations that I was looking at, clips I was looking at. So I'm like, but you got 18 counts. And you got more people signed on for that. Although, I can't remember her name because I just found out right before I went to air. There is one lady that signed on to this John Bolton indictment, which they got multiple people. That's the only thing with John Bolton that's kind of messed up, is that there are a lot of people on this one, a lot of prosecutors. Only one, not one, nobody signed, just that one lady signed for Letitia. And for James Comey, the same, right? So that lawyer, the insurance lawyer that Donald Trump made an attack dog for this, those two only have one person. This one has a lot of people, prosecutors willing to prosecute this. So they must have some kind of evidence more than what they have of the other two. It's too thin. This one's a lot of pages compared to those other ones. There's 2 pages, and I think 1 page is for another. It's just insane. More than likely, now this is my opinion, I don't know, listening to lawyers, those other 2 will get dropped. And this dude right here, more than likely, he's gonna get found guilty or found in one of them. But here's the thing, though. This is what I'd say to anybody. John Bolton, I don't like you, don't like your plans and nothing like that, but and I know you got experienced lawyers and all this shit. But if you worked alongside Donald Trump and you did not take any copious notes of the illegal shit he did when you were in office with him and you just looked the other way, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Because right now, you should have information that's hidden somewhere on this fool about something he did. Leverage. And I say that about all y'all in the White House and working for this fool. If you don't have evidence on him, yeah, you in trouble. If you aren't recording this fool saying some of the most egregious shit that will get him kicked out of the office, yeah, you're in trouble. So all of y'all should have y'all microphones on when you can have your microphones on. So that when this fool turns on you, it ain't a matter of if, it's when he turns on you, you got something to shut his old ass up. Because trust me, I know he's breaking the laws. He's doing them in our faces. I know he's doing them around you. And if you're too stupid to record it or to not have it, it is on you that you get what you get. You better have something to trade, because trust and believe, you will be in a courtroom, Marco Rubio. Donald Trump has immunity. Y'all don't. None whatsoever. And just like Michael Cohen said, Donald Trump is like the Don. His name is Donald. He's like the Don. He's like the mob. He's a thug. And he's literally out here treating you guys like you're his prostitutes. He's the pimp. And every last one of y'all bowing down. Every one of you. And it's crazy. Kash Patel, Don Bongino, Pam Bondi. You guys got the Epstein tapes, the files, those pictures that Michael Wolff are talking about. Here's the thing. Michael Wolff said there are a lot of pictures. He saw at least, I think he said 4 or 5 of them or something like that. He said there's a lot of pictures with Donald Trump and others. And he saw Donald Trump, the one what I said with the young girls. And I loved how the White House literally said, I think his name is White House or Wittenhouse. I forgot to say his last name. The senator. He literally said, did you see these tapes? Did you see these pictures? And Kash Patel, or not Kash Patel, Pam Bondi's like, I don't know, pictures? What are you talking about, pictures? You couldn't answer it because she has seen them. Why do I say she's seen them? We all know that she's seen them because Kash Patel told her. See, when Kash Patel was in his Senate meeting, and I think if it was either Senate or the House, the representatives, I forgot who it was that asked him, but he said that he didn't, first of all, he said that there's only one person that he knew of at the beginning that Epstein, traded sex with or whatever. Then he said, oh, I didn't really mean that. The next time he said it, somebody else asked him, it's like, that was a flip-flop. You lied. One of those is a lie. Right? So, but he's the one who went out and said, they asked him, did you give the documents or you let Donald Trump know? Because the FBI agents were the ones who spent 24 hours looking through his documents to find Donald Trump's name. And he asked him, did you notify Donald Trump his name was on the list? He goes, I did not notify Donald Trump. He said, well, did you notify Pam Bondi about it. I don't want to share what me and Pam Bondi does, whatever we do. Well, the information came out that Pam Bondi was the one that went and told Donald Trump that his name was in the list, in the documents. That's when they had to find out how many times it was in the documents. That's when he hired people to do it. So it only makes sense that Kash Patel, Kaka Kash Patel, is trying to distance himself from Donald Trump and saying, I didn't tell Donald Trump. He didn't say this either, but he had to tell Pam Bondi because he had the files. He told her about them, handed them over to her, told Donald Trump about them. They had to look and see how many times. And then Pam Bondi came basically and said, your name in there a shit ton of times, bro. We got to protect you. And now they're pedophile protectors because, again, it's all the way down to Mike Johnson and all these others who literally ran on finding these damn Epstein tapes and releasing them because they, again, QAnon and all of them were talking about what? Pizzagate. That Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton had, some kind of sex clubs in the basement of a pizza place. So much so that one of their little sycophants brought a gun to kill people at this restaurant that had these children in some kind of, cabal, and they were all being raped under this pizza place. Turns out the pizza place didn't have a basement. Yeah, he was turned into a dumbass real quick. And then all of a sudden the stories got to change. It's crazy how many times these stories have been false, have not panned out, and these fools continue to believe. It's also bad, again, when you start to realize, MAGA, that you are a part of this group where people literally think that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., or Robert F. Kennedy, his son, John F. Kennedy Jr., the one who died in an airplane accident with his family or whatever. These fools literally thought, who was a Democrat, he was going to come back and run as vice president with Donald Trump. A dead man. That's your party. You brought on people who can vote. I don't know how, though. Who literally went to the grassy knoll and waited for the dead man to come back to life and show up as a running mate to Donald Trump. That's your party. I mean, what in the entire fuckery is that? And when you hear Hillary Clinton call you deplorable, how the hell don't you think that's deplorable? Someone who literally got up out their bed, got into a plane, flew their ass to the grassy knoll, and sat outside with signs waiting for a dead man to come back. How was he traveling back? Was he going to fall out the sky? Was he going to come back as a Rottweiler? Parakeet? A grain of sand? What the fuck was he coming back as? Himself? Boy. I mean, come on. How can we take y'all seriously? And here's the crazy part. That nut job of a group is leading this fucking country. That's why I say you can't reason with crazy insanity. You can't reason with that shit. That's why I'm not sitting here trying. It bothers me when I see these people trying to talk to them like, so we can work together. You can't work with nut jobs. These people see Jewish space lasers, for God's sake. These people literally think that they're lizard people out here. How the hell do you reason with somebody that thinks people are lizards? The insane asylum is running the fucking country. They need to be medicated, not empowered. How do you reason with that? You can't. Anybody that can fix their brain and their lips to literally say a dead man's coming back to run for vice president. Here's the crazy part. You're MAGA. Why the fuck would you want a liberal Democrat running with Donald Trump? And who told you that? And why did y'all show up? That's the part. We can't understand this, people with a brain. These people got half a brain cell amongst them all combined. You can't reason with that. That is not common sense. That brain cannot reason. Because if it could, it would be like, the fuck you mean he coming back? A dead person's coming. Boy, shut the hell up. No, what you got up, put your socks on, underwear, cologne, all that, drove your ass out to the grassy knoll, flew out, sat outside in the sun. All that time waiting for somebody that never showed the fuck up. And still voted for the dude who put you out there. Yeah. We got to get people who are sane that just decided not to vote last time to get their little ass out and vote. Because otherwise, those people will forever be on the fringes of American society. They're just not all there. And hey, look, it's okay for people to have mental illnesses, but please, medicate so you can come to some sense of sanity. We should not have people who can't form a complete sentence, who can't come up to rational understanding of anything, who can't have logic at all in their brain. We can't have those people outvoting us, y'all. This right here, really? And people ain't gonna like it. But Americans who can vote, this is all y'all fault. The ones who didn't vote or voted for anybody other than Kamala Harris, this is your fault. All of this is on you. Because you had to have some modicum of understanding that the nut job was going to win if you didn't put your hat in on the opposite team. And you said, okay, I just won't show up. Just know, any election past this, you better get your ass out there, or you can say goodbye to this country and take your ass to another one, because a dictatorship is what we're going to have. And trust me, you don't want to live in a dictatorship. You thought it was bad before. You thought you didn't have rights before. When they can just go on any street and just grab your ass up and send you to a plantation somewhere and make you into a slave and nobody does anything about it. Don't think they ain't thinking about that. They're getting rid of these Latin people to replace somebody. And the only way you're going to be able to replace them if they throw your ass in jail for the simplest thing. Then you have to work out there. Wake your ass up and vote the right way this time for democracy. I don't care what or who they put into place. Anybody powerful enough to beat any Republican, I'm voting for. I'm voting for democracy. Fuck all the other shit. If there's a Democrat that's for democracy, I'm voting for them. Why? Because I want my country to go back on the healing itself. I don't want it going to destroying itself and eating itself. Right now, we got a flesh-eating virus eating the hell out of democracy, and we just sitting there talking about, we'll let Robert F. Kennedy try to solve it. No, we all dead if this idiot is trying to solve the flesh-eating virus that's killing democracy. We're the vaccine, ladies and gentlemen. We're the vaccine. Our vote is the vaccine. If you didn't believe your vote counted before, please believe that shit now. Please vote locally. I don't care who. Dog catcher. I don't care whom. Get the people and these disease-minded folks out of leadership. Yeah, exactly, Lynette. Or Lynn. I'm like, they thought there was that blue no matter who shit was a rhyme and it worked. I said, shit. In the primaries, I'm going to try and pick the best blue I can find. And then when it comes to the actual election, all blue, baby. But the best blue I can find. And we all need to figure out what's the best blue and hit those numbers with the toughness I'm like, I don't go out and vote. Get your neighbor to vote. Go out and tell people to get their to register. The millions of you who did not vote. Now, you know what's really worrying me though, is these liberals who are excited about what Donald Trump and the Benjamin Netanyahu have done to release these hostages and so forth. And I'm thankful for that. Them seeing their families was just a beautiful thing. It's not completed yet. I understand that. The release has happened. For the most part, they need some of the dead bodies back, and they're having some kind of issues, and Trump is threatening them. I don't even understand. We haven't got to the second phase yet, and these fools are already talking about ending this thing. But you got a lot of these far left people acting like, they love Trump now. I'm like, oh, wow. You do understand, and this is what kills me about this. You do understand exactly what he's doing now. Biden did soon after, like in November. It happened October 7th or something like that. In November, I believe, Joe Biden had a ceasefire type of situation, just the same. Worked some things out. Fell through. Benjamin Netanyahu started bombing again. They released hostages. This one they released, like 17 or 20 or something like that? Under Joe Biden, they let go of, they released, I think, 100 or 200 of them. I mean, it's no comparison. But you listen to these people talk about it, like, Joe Biden didn't do anything. Joe Biden got 100 or so. I think almost 200 of them let go. Donald Trump got 20 at the very last end. And you want to sit there and act like he did better than Biden? I mean, these revisionist history people get on my fucking nerves. Thank you, DJ, for the donation. I appreciate you. Thank you for the memberships, too. I saw it earlier. I was talking. I'll go back and give credit to all those people. Get on my nerves, yo. It's like we're supposed to be working together, but these people, I promise you, you out here voting for the enemy. Okay, maybe you hate America. I get it. That's on you. You do what you want. You can do you. But for those of you who hear my voice and you love America, and you love democracy, and you want to see her do better, whatever you want to call it, the pronoun her, him, they do better, then you need to vote for people that want a democracy and not a dictatorship. And know the difference. What Donald Trump is doing is not a democracy. It's a dictatorship. We don't need weaponization of FBI. You thought it was bad before when the FBI would charge you for stuff, or the CIA, and they would go after people of color, and still know that even when Christopher Wray was in there, he knew, he was asked under oath, what was the most dangerous group of people in America today? And he said white nationalists, racist white people were the biggest threat, the biggest terrorists in this country. And what did we do? Did we go around to white terrorist groups and start arresting them like they did to black groups when they thought Black Panthers were the ones? And they was going all over the place arresting them and trying to make them into villains when they were just trying to protect their own fucking communities from racist people? No, you didn't see them arresting racist white people left and right. You didn't see them going into communities where people had white hoods on and start arresting people because they was a part of a terrorist group. You didn't see that. You didn't see a mass arrest of racist white people when the FBI said that they were the biggest threat and the terrorists in this fucking country. Nobody did a thing. Instead, we elected them. We didn't arrest them. We elected them. They're out there hurting Latin people right now. If you don't think those people who are out there that are masked up aren't a part of this racist group of people, the Proud Boys, the KKK, that's who they are. These are not regular people. These are people they deputized to do it because the other people had some type of integrity before. The ones who worked under Joe Biden, the ones who worked under President Bush and Obama, they had integrity. Now, they made some issues, some mistakes. But for the most part, they didn't make news every day because they would just do their job and go through the processes of going through due process. And Obama proved that you can go through the process, the legal process, and still get rid of millions of people. And they got Americans believing that, hey, we need to do this drastic shit. Well, the last time Donald Trump was president, he didn't come nowhere near like the 4 million, I believe, that Obama got out of the country, deported. I think it was 4 million or something like that. Donald Trump didn't even get to 1 million. And he was out there terrorizing people, throwing them into jails, like in like the chicken coops and shit. Taking kids and putting them on planes and sending them to states that didn't even tell their mother, didn't even tag their child so they know where their kid was going to. Then was confused, like, I don't know. Did you guys not label the kids? No, we didn't label the kids. Well, do you know where their kids are? No. Say what? You don't know where their kids are? No, I don't. So their babies are just gone. Yep. To this day. Horrible. Horrible management. Horrible human beings. They did that under Donald Trump. You didn't hear nothing like that under Bush or Obama. Even though I think when under Bush was the one time we saw that one Latin kid. I think it's Bush. But we saw that one Latin kid. I think it was here in LA. And they broke into their home and had a freaking like AK or whatever pointed dead into the face of a child while he was hiding in the closet trying to get away from him. I forgot what that kid's name was, but I think that was under Bush. I'm not 100% sure. That was a while back ago. But for the most part, it never made news because why? Because it wasn't newsworthy. They went through the process. They didn't break the laws. They went through the process. Donald Trump breaks the laws. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Your mom was the I don't know if she was Jamaican, but the black lady got into the elevator and the police officer, I guess he was a police officer, made sure she got out of there, and he stood in front of the door and tried to close the door to get her away from ICE and all that. That was dope. She said, "I'm an American citizen," but what was even more dope is how she was really kind of going in on that dude, because she was like, I hit hard. I'm not gonna sit here and back down and be afraid of you. And that's what people should learn about this whole process, is that when you act scared, they automatically get power. But when you stand up, that's when they show their weakness. But the point of the matter is that if you don't have any other force in a way, I have no doubt that cop was not, I guess he was a cop, wasn't there. That other group of racist ICE people would have tried to beat her down and made up a lie that she did something wrong. Yeah. Because they done some crazy stuff. I saw another video today of ICE running right smack dab into another car. Damaged their own vehicle, the front end of it, and tore her car up, made her do a spin out and all shit like that. And somebody got out of the car and bailed, but they drew their guns on the person I guess was in the driver's seat. And I'm sitting here like, are we in America? Or is this some kind of third world country? I mean, we can't normalize people, military type people in military gear. Not saying they're in the military, but like military type people dressed up like military, running in, destroying people's vehicles. That one lady I told you about, I don't know if I showed you the video or not, the one that they snatched out the car by her feet and let her hit her back and head on the fucking ground from her car seat to the floor, to the ground. She was an American citizen. And they thought she was like obstructing them getting somebody. But there's no obstructing on the video that you can see. They just said that to justify pulling this lady out of her car after smashing her car. Who's paying for that damage? Her? For doing what? Yelling out the window and calling them pigs or whatever the hell they may have called them, and you think it's the right for you to run into somebody's vehicle and destroy it and then snatch them out the car? It's unbelievable that is a reality in this country. And Americans are not freaking the fuck out. And that's why we need to be, and I'm going to be in the streets Saturday, to protest. I said I wasn't going to go out there, but I have to. Because why? Because this shit is just wrong. And I was always taught, if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. And I stand up 10 toes down for democracy. I stand up for people having the American dream. I stand up for people having opportunity. I stand up for people to be able to afford their bills if they're working their ass off and working 40, 80, 100 hours a week. You should not be living paycheck to paycheck when you're giving it your fucking all. I stand up for people getting paid a living fucking wage and minimum wage being enough that a young person can live with their parents if they have to and still be able to save money so they can get up out the house. It should not be, minimum wage should not be an adult thing. That should be for people just getting into the workforce. People who start a job should not be starting out, if you're a grown-ass man or woman, making minimum wage nowhere. I believe in that. Mamdani, some of the things that he's saying, I believe in that. In fact, I created ways to pull it off without needing the government. We can do it for ourselves, the people. We don't need the government except for things that, again, healthcare, which they need to work on. But for us to create living wage jobs, we can do that ourselves. We just need to stop making these billionaires billionaires. We need to stop billionaires from becoming trillionaires and start making ourselves wealthier, the good people, so that we can give back and give opportunities back to the people. There needs to be billionaires that are focused on giving the people opportunities and paying them a living wage. I done seen too many times, and I know the one guy I think has passed away, but there was another guy as well who started like a shoe company online. It was an Asian guy. He paid himself, and his employees pretty much the same amount. It was a young white guy, I believe, as well. He was making millions of dollars a year. He made it so that everybody who worked for him made $70,000 a base of $70,000 a year coming into the business. If these people can do this and still have successful companies, then there's no excuse. Billionaires could do it too on any given day, but they're so caught up with the me world. And we're caught up buying from them because we want to be a part of that me world, that we're fucking up the we the people. Because if we really had pride and love in ourselves, we would have never let this shit happen to our country. There would be no man or woman that can talk us out of a democracy. This shit should make us sick, regurgitating this crap that he's saying and these people are doing. Every last one of us who love democracy should be pissed off at what they're doing. But not all of us are. Because some people have so much anger of their life not being a certain way that they want to jump ahead of everybody. They want everybody else to feel the pain that they felt. Instead of trying to create solutions for each other, they're trying to destroy people so that you can feel just as bad as they feel because they are less educated, because they aren't getting paid enough. And they're blaming everyday people who have busted their ass to get ahead instead of billionaires who decided that there are going to be certain classes they were going to help and certain classes they weren't. So it's going to take the people to change that. Our government's going to be able to, we got to be able to have the people lobby for the people's rights. But at the same time, being able to create opportunities and jobs and reinvent the way things work. That's why I'm doing Avid Solutionist. I'm reinventing the way America works, the way an economy works through capitalism. Capitalism that cares is way different than capitalism that wants to stab you in the back just so they can rise ahead of you. Once we can get to something like that, this country will have opportunities for our kids and our grandkids to always have and not be of the have-nots, to always be able to move up instead of always staying in the same position and dying there. Your ingenuity and hard work should pay off. In this country, it's not and hasn't been for decades. And millionaires and billionaires don't care. You're making them millionaires and they don't care about the people who are making them millionaires and billionaires. Because I don't think the people are demanding them to do so. And once you demand them to do so, and stop buying from them, just like we did with Jimmy Kimmel. We stopped buying from them. They started changing their minds. If more of us start making money on our own and start living away, like I said, with this one thing I'm doing with partners, is being able to make money every time you shop. Come on now. Why would you need to go and buy this product when I can go buy another product that looks just like it, works just like it, doesn't have that name brand on it, but when I buy it for $1,500, I make $300 out of it, as opposed to buying over there for $2,000 and all you got is a product. There are ways to make life better for us, and we have to start working on solutions and stop listening to the bullshit. All these decades, these people have been stealing our jobs, going overseas, throwing our jobs away, buying the same product in another country, making that country richer by charging us 100 times more, 1,000 times more than it cost them to buy it, and then telling us that's quality. And we get caught up in a name and not realizing the whole game. That name ain't worth a damn. That product is cheap. You just think it's better because you like it better than the plastic or the fake leather. But what the real leather is still low quality leather. But because in this country, you're not used to real leather from Italy. You're not used to the real suede from Italy. You're used to the shit that they bring here, which is still low quality. It's just better than the crap. So you think, oh, I'm gonna buy this Gucci, and I guarantee you, I promise you, any leather or any kind of product you think is high quality in your home, I promise you, I can get it directly from Italy for a fraction of the cost and get it built to the exact specs, and it'll cost me probably about $300 to $400 to do. And you got this $1,000, $10,000, $50,000 Birkin bag that is worth literally $1,500. Just saying. Canceling the upcoming commercial holidays. Yeah, I'm not really buying anything at all. I'm good. You know, I have no like a program or nothing, but I'm good. I'm not buying anything really. I mean myself. But what I am doing, and I told you a while back ago what I was working on, so that it's called partners, and trying to make everybody who buys from me a partner, so you get paid every time you shop. This way we can be able to help each other. You know what I'm saying? And people can become affiliates to what I do. But my thing is this: I'm doing my best right now to find products that I believe that are quality. I'm buying them from overseas, just like these other brands. I'm testing them out, see how they work, put them through some hell to see how long they last. Once I do, then I'm purchasing those, and I'll be selling those things, and it'll be necessity things or things that we want. Right now, I'm working on a because I need it, because I need to get in shape. I got a fit watch now. This is the brand watch that I had before. Everybody knows what it is. It's a Fitbit, and I spent about 200 or whatever bucks on this thing when it first was brand new. It's only like a couple years old. It's dead, and it has bugs and doesn't fucking work, and the software doesn't work with it, and it'd be 100. Like right now, you can tap on it. The damn thing won't work. Plug it up, let it, just for a couple seconds, it'll come up. It's 92%. Just doesn't work. So I went overseas and, I have a business, and I'm doing it through my business, and found one that I like. They're sending it to me. I'm going to work on that one, see how it works. And like little by little, every product, I am stop buying anything that I can find in this country that is just way too much. I'm going overseas. I don't care what it is. My clothes, my watch, my glasses, my cologne, my everything. I ain't buying shit unless it's from, like, I myself can get it for a good price. And then I will sell it to people and give them a profit off of everything I buy. Because again, if people aren't making a living somehow, some way, if we aren't helping each other somehow, some way, you know what I'm saying? Like this watch that I'm talking about getting, I looked at it, and y'all, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Mrs. the Devil, I've been looking for these fit watches. Did you know that Amazon has a fit watch? Did you know that? It's called Amaze Fit, something like that. AMAZ Fit. Did you know I went and when I was talking to my the Chinese provider that's giving me the supplier rather for all these products that I'm thinking about getting into, she showed me a watch that's like 90% Amazfit. The only thing is that Amazfit has its design the exact same now, buttons and everything, names on everything around the watch. It's gold around the edge, just gold painted, not gold, real gold. That thing is $399. And the watch I'm talking about, mine has GPS, theirs didn't. Mine has like video and all this other shit, theirs didn't. All this shit. And mine ain't nowhere near that cost. I'd be damned if I'm buying anybody's product anymore that's charging these crazy ass prices and ain't doing shit for people. You got to beg them to give people a job. With that watch alone being $399, and I know he bought that phone for probably $25. It ain't happening, Jack. And Amazfit, yeah. Only reason I say is because there's so many products out here that people are buying that, again, Fitbit was like the main thing back in when I bought my watch. It's like, oh yeah, you gotta get a Fitbit, you gotta get a Fitbit. Trash. That watch is trash now. Love that watch. Trash now. Been going off and on like this for like half a year now, but kept on hanging on to it. Turns out when you look these things up later, it had problems before I even knew it had problems. And other people had the same exact problem as me. These things are always coming with bugs. And they know the real life expectancy of these things. That's why they make the warranty only like a year, because they know 2 to 3 years, this shit's gone. Even if you barely use it, which I didn't even use mine a lot. Anyway, I'll be Amazon's competition. Here's the thing, Lynn, we will. See, what I do is a we thing. It ain't a me thing. See, think about this for a second. When I talk about partners, I really mean making people who buy from me a partner in what I do. And it's not no Amway shit, nothing like that. It ain't none of that craziness. I don't like that shit. That's why I come up with inventions different than what's ever been put out there, because I think we need solutions that haven't been tried and that aren't like annoying, that you got to sit here and try. I got to buy this. I got to know, do what you want to do. But for me, I look at it like this. You see people on TikTok and they're selling through TikTok. Well, TikTok gets a portion of that money. The Chinese corporation that's sending to you, whatever, they're getting a portion of that money, and then you're just getting a product. And I was like, you know what? Why can't you get product and get paid? All it takes is a person not being greedy. I told you I wasn't greedy. I want our people to have. I want our kids to be able to afford shit. So I use capitalism that cares, capitalism with a heart. And that literally means if you're going to get that product for $399 and you know that the prices out here are $399 for these types of watches, and I get quality shit, no junk, that's just as good as that, then I can lower the price by far, give you the same quality, if not better, right? And then when you buy it, you make money by whatever you buy, we share in like a percentage. Whatever the profit I make off of that, I give you a percentage of it. You're a partner. Done deal. Why can't I do that? It's not illegal. It's the greatest thing on earth. Why would I do something like that? Because it's not a me thing. It's a we thing. Instead of getting investors, which I can't stand because these rich people don't do nothing but try and steal everything you got, by doing this, I don't need investors. So I don't have any overhead, and I don't have to have a return on investment that's got to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I only got to get what I need. And whatever I need. If I want 25% and give you 10% or 15%, whatever the fuck it is, I'm going to make money. The point is you will too. And your dollar will go further, and you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck if when you're buying, you're getting paid. Simple as that. Very simple. It's not hard at all. It's that you got to have a heart when you do shit. And you got to stop being so focused on me, 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 me. How many cars can you buy? How many boats can you buy? How many yachts can you buy? How many lofts can you buy? How many? Obviously a shit ton, but you can't live in all of them. So while you're living in all this beautiful wealth and gold and all that and bragging about it, you got people out here who can't even eat. Why? Because people who get wealthy, they just don't give a fuck about nobody else. Well, I give a fuck about everybody. And we need more people like me that use their brilliance of being able to create new systems that will get wealthy because they're helping out people. I don't believe anybody should get wealth that isn't helping people. It shouldn't be forced upon you. It should be in your business process. You see how businesses, they always want to tell you, well, if you buy from me, I'll give 3 things away this week. And it'll be just for a week. Or if you buy from me and you buy 1 pair for $40, I'll give 3 pair to homeless people. That's in their business process. But again, how often do they really do it? You don't necessarily know. Because why? I am all about accountability. If I'm giving away shit like this situation I'm doing with partners, if I am going to get this done, I want to hear your voices. And I don't want to sit here and make ads and shit and give advertising companies. I want you to say, look, I got social media. I'm going to say this dude right here built this whole thing so that he doesn't have to spend millions of dollars on advertising. I get people who are getting paid. Instead of the $1 million going to the advertising, the money's going to you. You're promoting it. You should get paid for it. Just you wearing it or whatever. You're like, dude, I got this for whatever. And it's way better than the Maze Fit. It's all about building shit that cares. Capitalism that cares actually can work. It actually is way better than capitalism that doesn't. Greed is our problem. And the greedier we get, the worse this country becomes. We got greedy people out here fucking people over on their health care. Instead of thinking of other ways that you can bring money in, they're trying to figure out how they can give themselves a tax cut. They want more money, and they don't care if you die if they do it. That is evil. And why would you want to buy from people who think that way about you? They don't care if you die so they can make money. They don't care if you can't feed your family, just as long as you go out and buy one of their bags or buy one of their hats or their cars. They don't give a fuck about you. They give a fuck about what you have in the bank. And if you can build businesses that fucking care, can you imagine the skyrocket, how much money you can make doing that shit? But not only that, how many lives you can change. Just selling shit is and doing shit for people and giving them a piece of the profit and not having investors, having people who are partners. You're buying from me, you're a partner with me. The profit I make on selling to you, keeping it close under what everybody else is selling, but still making it a profit off of where we're getting it from. We have so much overhead. If they're selling it for $3.99 and I sell it for $1.99, and you make $25 off of it and I make $75 off of it, hey, other way, you're buying it for $3.99. So fucking simple. And it cares about people. That's capitalism that cares. And I will be doing all the work, sourcing everything. And you're still getting paid, even though you don't have to do anything but buy the product that you're going to buy anyway for cheaper and better product. Why would you be against that? And it would force these billionaires to have to bring their prices down, because if I'm selling this shit for $1.99, it's a better product than theirs, and I didn't even have to build it. It's just something that's already in China, like they're doing anyway, throwing their name on it. Then what? They have to bring their prices down. Americans decide that Americans are fed up with being fucked over. And that a dream shit is getting further and further and further away because billionaires are making it so that you can never reach them. That you can never have any of this wealth. And you forever get broker and broker and broker. We are going through a situation now where everybody knows prices are going up like crazy. You're not getting raises. Many people are getting fired by the millions. Job growth is in the negative, specifically even worse for black people and people of color. How does it turn around? You think they're just gonna wake up and start caring about you? Good luck with that shit. Right now, I got items shipping from China. China is one of them, but you can go all over the place. We got the best prices. You can go from through business. It's gonna go through either China, Brazil, all different countries. Depends on what the best product is at. That's all I care about. All of it. The thing with our country is that, again, we don't have anything that we make here, and we're not going to. I ain't saying that you say anything, but we're not going to. We have to be realistic about how our country works. This country is forever going to be buying products from other people because why? Because we sent everything overseas, and the world is set up so that overseas stuff can be done cheaper. They manipulate their currency a lot, and therefore we're stuck. They'll say, oh, we're going to bring it back to the United States and this and that and the third is going to happen. Nope. As long as that country can sell it or make it for pennies on a dollar and sell it for basically anything to America or any other country, those other countries are going to stop down and just start buying from America. America's, first of all, we have to build a new culture. Yeah, that's what I want people to understand. America's culture of what we want in our homes as opposed to what we're willing to actually build ourselves. Like when we start a business, most Americans, we're trying to find the cheapest product we can to make this stuff actually the best. You know what I'm saying? When we're building it ourselves, we're like, oh, shit, we don't have a budget for, to have the mold made and this, that, and the third. So you're trying your best to get the mold made here and there and pieces all over the country and all over the world, and then bring it all together and assemble it. And then you got to add up how much all they cost to ship. And then people say it was made in America. No, it's not. It was assembled in America. That whole idea of stuff being made in America has been gone. That's why we have to create industries that we have the resources for. But if you think we'd had that, these billionaires wouldn't have done it already. They know they have to pay us a living wage, or they got to pay us something. They don't have to pay them a living wage. We have laws. That's why they want your 13 and 14-year-old to start working, so those laws don't really apply to the younger ones. So they're not looking out for you. They're still looking out for themselves. So we have to look out for us and force them with leverage to give us what we want. If not, we'll keep trucking the way we're trucking, and they'll get broker and broker and broker, if that's a word. They get more broke, and more broke, until they start to see, wait a minute, these Americans are making a shit ton of money. How are they doing it? We're all partners. We united around the fact that we don't all want to get old and broke. We really want to get older and have enough money to survive, to get us a piece of property that we can retire and die on. Okay? And we're sick and tired of busting our asses just to have the minimum. So how do we fix it? We unite and start buying from each other. There's multiple ways to go about it. You have to deal with the person overseas directly, in the sense that you got to get somebody. This is my second time that I had somebody in China back. I don't know if you remember when those hovercrafts, not hovercrafts, but those they were red and black, whatever, and you can ride back and forth on them and shit like that. Before they got the wheel, they had those. That was probably around 2016, maybe somewhere around there, 15, 16. And that's when they came out. And I still got one, to be honest. I didn't sell the last one. I had a really good guy back then. I bought it was like $80. They were selling them for $300 or $400 here. And I got the first time I got 10 and spent $800. Well, actually, yeah, it was $800 that I did. And then, shipping and stuff like that. So then I ended up selling each one of them for way under the $300 to $500. I sold it for like, it was packaged and everything. I sold it for like $250 or something like that, and I made some good money off of it. I could have charged everything, but what happens is the same. Is that now whatever product that I'm going to test out, I usually request a sample. The sample is usually like the cheapest. They'll give it to you for plus shipping, and that'll be just I test it. But if I really want to, you develop a relationship with the organization overseas, and depending on your quantity, like if you want to put your own name on it, let's say, you find a product that you like, you get a test and sample it, like, okay, I like this, I'm wearing it, like my watch, I'm gonna be running and do different things and fall on the ground and do whatever, throw it on the ground, see if it breaks and things of that nature, just testing it out. And if everything like works through this rigorous testing, I'm like, oh, this shit is the bomb. Hopefully that's what it is. Otherwise it might be crap. But once you figure that out, then you can get whatever price that you started out with. You can always get it knocked down and say, I'm gonna buy 1,000 of them. You know what I mean? So they'll knock it down from whatever you're paying for. Let's say you're paying $25 for it. That's not what I'm paying, but it says $25 for it. And then you buy 1,000 of it, they might knock it down to 12 or 15 or whatever the hell it is, right? And then you pay the shipping and handling and stuff, and you pay the tariff for it, and then you have it. And if you work with them at the very beginning, you got to develop a rapport. Everything's about developing a rapport. And when you develop a rapport with somebody, one group of people, and I'm gonna give you a little insight when you're gonna do something like this. One thing that you get to know about because you never know who you're gonna be talking to because they got so many people working at these factories. So if you're talking to somebody who's like very like choppy, like what do you want? Then what do you need? They always like, and they just give you stuff. How much do you want to be? You don't even ask you what it is. They'll just say like, here's the price, here's this and the third. If they go through it just like randomly, like they don't build a relationship with you in any kind of way, drop them. You want somebody who's literally going to be like asking you personal, like not personal, but questions that act like they care. They're still doing business. But they'd be like, what would you like? Or, you like this color? Would you like that color? And then they'll be like, where will we be shipping this to? Because you ask them how much the shipping will be. If you ask them how much the shipping would be and they just give you a random number, drop them. Because they're going to give you the highest number. But if you have somebody that you're talking to that you done build a little rapport with, that person, and this is what happened with me with the multiple ones that I've had before. I build those relationships because you got to be personal and try to figure out like what is their particular goal and what is yours. And if it's theirs all the time, then you don't want to deal with that person either because they just got a goal they need to get. But if they're like saying, I don't, whatever you particularly want, they cater to you. That's awesome. And then they ask you for your address. I know some people be scared. So like I said, where am I shipping this to so I can find out how much it's going to cost? If they do that, they're more trustworthy. Why? Because they're going to search how much this product weighs, and then they're going to see if they ship it to you, put it in the system will tell them how much they can charge. And usually with any kind of service that you send, they'll have 2 to 3 charges, if not more, even coming from China or whatever. So it'd be like, oh, if you sent it express, it's going to be, $15. If you spend it this way, it's going to be $10, or we can send it for $5. And you'll be shocked that sometimes it's cheap as hell to ship from Japan or China, stuff like that. Cheaper sometimes than sending it from LA to like New York. Don't ask me how. I don't know how they do this shit in that sense. But it depends on that. And then from that point, you get to kind of have a rapport. If you get a rapport with somebody, and it's sometimes hard to do. You got to go through people. You got to kind of be cutthroat in a way. It's like you see that they don't do these things, like, no, you know what? Forget it. I'm fine. And you just cancel out, and then you log back on and hopefully get another person. But you kind of go through that whole process. And when you find that person, man, you'll know it. They'll hit you up and say, I'll hit you back up tomorrow. You have a great day. Clap emoji or smile emoji or whatever. That person, they're doing their job, but they also give a damn about the person they're selling to because they want to build a long-term relationship. And if they come out and say something like that, oh, you're golden. I want to build a long rapport with you. Because at that point, they want to build a rapport with you to be able to sell to you not only 1 or 2 samples, they want to sell thousands, if not 10,000 samples. And that's what you have to kind of like do and figure out, but in a more cordial way. So that's what I've done in many cases that I've been getting stuff for overseas. And this is the recent one with the Fit Watch. It's not called Fit Watch. I can label it whatever I want. It doesn't have a name on it. But what it's promising, a GPS system in it, has a heart rate monitor. It has like the oxygen level in your skin and stuff of that nature. It's a sturdy watch that is, that's like a chrome. It looks like fantastic. But I don't know until I get it. That's another thing. I don't want to sell anybody crap. I don't want to sell anybody. I don't want to buy myself. So when I buy it, I've got to test it out and I can actually vouch for it. I don't want to sell nothing that I haven't vouched for. It's just a part of me being Mr. Straight Facts. I don't want to sell trash. I want to sell something that really is quality to me, and therefore I can actually vouch for it. Again, it's not about making money for no reason. It's about making money for my family and also sharing so that your family can have. That's capitalism to me that cares. And the more people who become like me, and I believe there will become more people like me, only even if it ain't in your heart of hearts, like it ain't something that you would have came up with. The idea is if your life starts to change and you become the catalyst to change other people's lives as well, then you change the world not only for you and yours, for others who cross your path. And I believe that's why we're here, to lift each other, not just our families, all. Anybody that comes within your reach, you should be a blessing to. You should be like someone who is trying to lift their lives, because when you're around people that lift you, you feel good. People have your best interest, you feel good, and you work on all cylinders. You become a better person. When you always got to get upset with somebody, or she's doing this against my will and this and that, and he doesn't like this about, and I got all that negative shit every day. We are so stuck on negative. Like I tell you, there's so many times that we will focus on a negative thing, and I'm like this, and I work my butt off to fix it. But it's something, this is why, especially when I was younger and always like trying to get ahead, I would focus on every time I fucked up like there was like something that needed to be broadcast 24/7. But the times that I was so successful at something, I'd celebrate 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes later, I'm back to that self-destruction of how do I get to that next success? Oh, you did good now. How are we going to get here? And you never got a chance to kind of like really spend more time on your success and less time on your failures or trying to get to the next success. You got to appreciate every phase in your life, not trying to skip to be the next one, to be the next one, to be the next one. If you ain't appreciating this one, the next one is going to be just not appreciated either. Celebrate your successes more than just a few seconds, because you let those failures sit for years, if not decades. Those successes are fleeting, and you need to start to learn how to accept those successes and make those the energy that pushes you to the next success or even to the next failure, because failures are nothing more than pathways to your next success. But give your success a celebratory moment. Don't just let it be, oh, I won, and then 30 minutes later, you back on the grind to get ahead. It's like, let that seep in, because the more you see yourself a winner, the more you start to win. If you consistently see yourself being a loser, you get a win and you try to get that next loss or try to move on from that win because you don't want to feel over. Like I got to be humble. I got to humble myself. Well, you got to celebrate yourself too. Humbling yourself is always destroying the happiness and joy that it took to get you where you at. That should be celebrated, not fleeting. We spend too much time on our negatives and very little time on our positives and our success. That's why many of us are depressed, because we keep on focusing on what we aren't as opposed to celebrating what we are. Can't become something better when you already can't accept what your goodnesses are already. I can't accept who I am. I'm not great. You are great, but you aren't giving yourself that credit, and you're waiting for somebody else to give it to you. Newsflash: most people ain't gonna give it to you, so you're waiting for nothing. You're wasting time. Give it to yourself, and people celebrate those who celebrate themselves. People look up to those who like, man, look, they got it together. Start looking like you got it together, and things will start coming together. And you start focusing on we and not me, you start to have a better life and a better outlook on life. Me thinking about solutions, my solutions are always inclusive, not exclusive. I don't want to be rich and be around people who are broke. I want to be rich to help other people become rich or comfortable or wherever they want to get off on this train. But if my life don't make other people's lives better, it was a waste of a life. And I don't want my life to be a waste of a life, because that's what I'm supposed to be here for. That's what we're all here for. We're here for a short time, but during that time frame, it's not just our lives get better. It's the we lives. Everybody behind you, everybody in front of you, you're here to make their lives better. And if you see it that way, the time that you're here, which is very short, it goes so quick, is a lot better. It's a lot enjoyable. And at the end, hopefully you have a lot of good memories of all the lives that you changed. You'll have a tapestry to look back on to say, I remember when I helped that kid out and she was so happy and that joy. All those wonderful, beautiful faces that went from sad to happy, from despair to joy. You know what I'm saying? From like tears of sadness to tears of celebration. And it's all because you lived that they reached that moment in front of you. When you can think about that on your last days, then you did good. But if you're thinking about the negative on your last days, that's the way I feel. It was a waste of a life. It's a waste of a life. And I don't want anybody to have that. And that's why I fight for we and not just me. Because if I'm happy and those people around me are happy because of what gifts I was given, and what gifts you were given will also make me happy, because I'm going to need people to help me in this process. I'm going to need wisdom from other people and your vision, so that our vision, the we part, is not just me, it's we. And therefore we can make this place a better place. And that's what I look forward to. And I can't stand a division, but I tell you, I'm not a punk. I love strong, but I can get in that ass like anybody else. It ain't like I always tell people when I was younger, don't take my love and kindness for weakness. It is extraordinary strength that I can see people that hate me and still want to help them. That's extraordinary. But you can't lie to me. I'll go off on your ass. But anyway, but that's the way I look at it, ladies and gentlemen. I know people probably never get to the end of my videos and hear the positive energy. They get the smoke, but it's all good though. That's the extra prize at the end. That's my gift that I offer, and I receive other people's gifts all the time. And just listening to you guys or watching you guys speak, it's a pleasure. And so I look forward to being a part of changing lives. And hopefully when I get this Avid Solutionist up, I'm even creating a game with it, because I really want people to see solutions as something that they do every day. It's okay to complain about stuff, but every time you have a problem, think of at least one, if you're more creative like myself, to 10 maybe solutions. You don't have to take them all, but when you start to think about the solution while you're in the midst of the problem starts to fade. And then you start working on that action. You start acting on those solutions in your head, and the problems start to fade a little bit. You start getting closer to getting over that phase, or whether it's depression or whether it's disconnected from something. You start feeling connected to that solution, and your life starts to get better a lot quicker. It's not going to happen overnight, but it gives you something to do to work on the solution to the problem, as opposed to just sitting and just, waiting in the problem itself. That's the way I've always seen life, and that's my gift to other people. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, correct? Yeah. And we're going to continue doing what we do, being a part of lifting each other and holding people's feet to the fire, because when it comes down to it, we just want a better life. We don't necessarily want it. We deserve it. There's nobody in this world that works their ass off that should be living, paycheck to paycheck. And the only reason that's so is because billionaires don't see you as human. They see you as a ends to a mean, or a means to an end. And if you take away that power and start paying attention to the things that matter to you, and you start to feel like there are businesses, there's millionaires out there, there's billionaires out there willing to invest in you, even on a small level, like paying you every time you shop, so therefore you can invest in your own family and be able to afford food just by buying the products you was going to buy anyway, and put gas in your car because you have this reserve money just by your shopping habits. I think we can make the world a better place and feel more unified, and feel more unity. And with more unity, we feel like the word community, right? That unity is within that word. We would have more of a community if we found something that we can unify around. And I believe wanting you to have a better life, not to compete with you, but to be, a partner with you on this journey called life. I don't need to be your foe. I don't need to compete. I just need to live, and at the end of it, look back at how many lives I helped, not destroy. Lives that I was inclusive, not just eluded you and I don't want to see you. You have homeless people all the time. If you stop and talk to them, oftentimes they'll say, "You're the first person that acted like I was alive." To hear that from a human being, it's really hurtful that you sit there like, wow. Thousands of people walk by them a day, and as far as they're concerned, it's a dead rat on the road, on the side of the street. But eye contact and hi, how you doing? That means something. Now, isn't that where we're supposed to be? Somewhat like God. But not all of us have that gear. That's why people like me and others are here, because we have that gear in spades, and it's up to us to share it, not hoard it. It's not a competition. We're on a mission to have a better life collectively. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a great night. I thank everybody for coming. Dennis, I see you. Oops, what the? I see you, Nina. Thank you guys for being members. I appreciate you. If you want to be a member, you know how to do it. DJ, as always, much love. Appreciate you. Prayers going out still to the family. Who else is in here? Come on. I see you, Lynette. I see you, Vera. I see you, Mama. Where we at? Do I have any more? It's weird. Because I know there's some new members. Where are we going? Go back to the top. Almost there. I see you, Woke. Patricia, welcome. I know I'm late, but hey, I try to go back because, I get to talking and I don't see all the names. I try to say hello when you come in, but I see you, Azure. And who else? I see Vicky. I see Learning to Be by Myself. Monica. Are we back at the top? I didn't see. What happened to the members? That's weird because it was there and not it's anymore. Oh, there it is. I see. All right. Thank you, DJ, for the 10 memberships for No Straight Facts, No Chaser gift memberships. I appreciate that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, always a pleasure. I'll see you guys tomorrow around the same time. You guys have a good night. Is it the same bat? The same bad channel. Is that what you're saying, DJ? Good night, Lynette. I see you. You're welcome, DJ. You guys have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Much love. And, you know, we got to work together. It's a we thing, not a me thing. I'll see you when I see you.